Hello, my name is Bruce Sawalski. I'm author of Canadian Wilderness Survival and chief instructor of the Boreal Wilderness Institute. And today I would like to talk about the original Bucksaw made by the Bear Essentials Company. If you like to learn real survival knowledge, then please support me by following me on YouTube and liking this video. So what I want to talk about is a piece of Canadian craftsmanship, and that's the saw sitting in this bag, which I'll assemble in a second, that is built in by the Bear Essentials Outdoor Company, by DJ himself. It's a handmade bow saw. It's a 50 centimeter or 21-inch blade, weighs about 500 kilograms or just over a pound. It'd be more in the bag, of course, that starts to add up. And it's made to replace this, which is one of the 10 or 15 critical items, depending on which list you're looking at of mine, that says, hey, this is a bow saw. So there's a 50 centimeter bow saw, and it's bulky, but very light. It would have a sheath with it, which would a little bit more weight, but of course protect the blade and protect you. Now, I'm going to talk about this bow saw in detail, but remember, the design as you see it will be a replacement for something, and it's a replacement for this. So this was the idea that people would build a bow saw. This is one I built many years ago, and I used to teach this in class sometimes, out in the field, and the idea would be that we'd bring a blade in, you'd bring some string, and you'd bring a few nails, and you'd build your own bow saw. Time-wise, though, this bow saw I used to put about an hour of classroom time into building a bow saw, from collecting the wood to building the saw, and of course we had the string already. And a few people could finish faster the first time. Most people would take about an hour. So it was an hour's work, about a half an hour work, maybe a little faster if you're really, really good. But I find most of the people that measure themselves and do it in 10 or 15 minutes didn't actually go to the woods to get the log, or they were right beside the wood they wanted to cut, which is kind of cheesy, right? So it's not a 15-minute saw. It's about a half an hour saw. I like to call these things the second day saws because they're the second saw you're going to build. You won't build that on the first day, but when you want a better saw and you look through your pack and find a few nails and a piece of string, you go, okay, I have the saw blade, I can build a better saw. So you take your 15-minute saw to saw down the log, and then you go back to camp and you chop up the pieces and you trim them all and you get them all nice, and boom, you got a bow saw. So let's talk about this guy here, and it's the Bear Essential Outdoor Company's original Bucksaw. Now, this one I got in the bag, and I got to tell you right up front, and this is very, very important. DJ did not give me this saw. I bought this saw. I didn't hear about it from DJ. I saw these saws. I saw one in action in the field. It was like, this is the most beautiful saw I've ever seen. I ordered one up immediately. Took a couple of months for it to arrive because he custom builds them. And it came, and I went, wow, this thing's amazing. And DJ follows 5 simple values for his products, which I really endorse, and I grabbed this right off his website. 1, it has to be functional. This is a functional bow saw. Built to last, it's a beautiful work of art. It gives back more than it takes. It's a beautiful saw. It's made here in Canada, so it's a Canadian-made product, and you're serving handmade product. So a handmade product, though, is going to be expensive. That's how it works, and that's just how life goes. And it's certainly a work of art. So I'm going to pull it apart, then we'll look at its components and everything else. So functionally, this bag is optional. You don't have to get it with the bag, and you can replace it with a nylon bag. I ordered the one that was the, it calls it the saw and axe sling. So it has the ability to put an axe down there. I figured, well, if I'm going to have that, I might as well do it. So 2 parts. There's the handles, and the blade is inside, along with the string, and there's the middle piece that holds it together. Now, a couple things I learned. Number 1, I learned to hold it this way and not tie this string up in a horrible mess. So then when I came to do this, I could pull it apart this way and it would be less messed up. And then I take this and I untangle the entire thing. If I do that and it's totally untangled, I can put the blade in one side of the blade of the support in, and then click the other side of support in place, like I'm a master. And of course, that didn't happen the first time. The first time I had it wrapped around here, it didn't work at all. And then as I played, I discovered that although this has to be tight when you saw, it doesn't have to be stored tight, nor do I want to wrap it up. And I just keep doing this until it gets hard. There. Bucksaw ready to go. Took no time at all. I'm only 5 minutes into this video and the thing's assembled. Right? Not relevant. Right? Now, again, it's a 50 centimeter blade. That's the standard blade we use for any other bow saw. Now, one little thing to think about. This isn't just a blade from a standard hardware store. It's actually a Bucksaw dry wood blade. So made in Sweden. So it adds my number one rule, which is all our blades should be European steel. So it's going to be Portuguese or Swedish, and this is a hard-tempered, high-quality steel blade, tooth point with high frequency tooth point with heat induction hardening for long lasting. So with the blade, the actual teeths. So the teeth that make the saw work, you can see there's a little bit of different color in them. You can see the bends right so that they can actually saw wood really, really easily, and it has a rust prevention treatment. So this saw will actually work in the field. That's the difference. This is a high quality saw. Is DJ's handmade bow saws for everybody? No, they're fairly expensive. Are they a work of art? Absolutely. Are they beautiful, and am I looking forward to using this in the field this winter? Absolutely, right? Taking to it a couple of different provinces and up to the territories and actually use this bow saw this year because it's a fine piece of workmanship and it assembles and disassembles quite quickly. Once you get the hang of it, it's a beautiful saw and well worth it. Now, one thing. Yeah, it's a pound. And, there it is, right? It's a little over a pound. It's 500 grams. You're carrying a little bit more. So if you want to go super light, it's not the saw for you. If you're bushcrafting and you're hauling a sled, if you have a large pack, then yeah, it's not going to make a difference. And therefore, a good saw that you can assemble easily, because remember, if you can't assemble your saw easily, you'll give up. And that's a lot of the improvised saws I discarded because I couldn't assemble them fast enough. This one's a good design, it's beautifully done, and it does the trick. So it's the Dark Walnut Original Bucksaw. You can get it from the Bear Essentials Outdoor Company at www.bearessentialsoutdoor.ca, and it's a fantastic custom tool, meaning it'll take a little while to arrive. But if you like a good saw, this is a good saw. So if you like this useful life-saving survival knowledge you learn on this channel, then please support me by following me on YouTube, listening and liking to other videos on this channel, and by following me at the Boreal Wilderness Institute on Facebook. Thank you, stay safe, and if you're stranded in the wilderness, just stop and survive.